The Joe Rogan Experience.
We'll get into this stuff, I'm sure. You're not just voting for the person, you're voting for who are they likely to have working for them,
Right.
what is likely to happen in courts, what is likely to happen regulation-wise. And so, of course, you want to think about who it is that the person is, but you also want to think about who do they bring with them. And for me, that's a lot of how I see voting in November at this point.
Yeah, most people have made that concession. And it's an interesting concession, right? Because it's not a concession we had to make. If it was Tulsi Gabbard or Bernie Sanders or Amy Klobuchar or Pete Buttigieg or, go down the line, there's a lot of very credible candidates that would have made interest, like maybe this person could be the next great president. Maybe this person could be a great leader. But now we're in this position, we're like, oh, God, okay. So listen, we're voting for the cabinet. We're Biden is so, he's, whether or not he's having moments that are related to cognitive decline, which you could speculate, or whether or not this is just his reaction to the most extreme amount of pressure he's ever faced in his life. And that does happen with people. We know people lock up. I would imagine that a guy who's been in the spotlight as long as he has for so long probably would be able to handle stuff. But I think running for president is a whole different ballgame. I think everything gets turned up by 10, and I think it gets turned up in this society that we're experiencing today. It gets turned up even more so because of social media. No president other than Trump has really had to deal with this kind of wave of social viral, feedback online with Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all the stuff that we're experiencing right now. Obama didn't have to deal with that really in his first term, maybe a little bit in his second term, but then Trump's the first guy to tackle it head on. And he's, in a lot of ways, he's showing you what can come at you. And I think that when Biden is running through these steps to try to become president, he's experiencing a wave of attention and scrutiny that he's never experienced before. And that could also exacerbate. What am I, a doctor here? I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with his head. But that could also exacerbate.
Say, have you taken a position on the Biden cognitive stuff that's
Something's
definitive?
wrong. Something's wrong. If he was my friend and he was fighting, I'd ask him to retire. I mean, if I'm looking at it that way. I have friends that I've seen their cognitive decline from fighting. I'm not saying that Biden's the same because I don't really know him from, I don't know him over a long period of time. I don't know him at all personally, but something's wrong. The way
any of your friends are they close to 80? Any of them?
No.
Okay.
The guys who experiencing cognitive decline are younger guys who've been hit in the head. When you get to 80, I have known people that have had problems, and it's very unfortunate. I don't think he's there because you could still talk to him. Like if that was just a guy that you knew and he was and he said something like, we've all been endowed by, the thing, that one famous speech. You wouldn't say, oh, Jesus, what's going on with Ray? You would say, oh, he locked up. He had a brain fart. He had a mental lapse, which I've had doing podcasts all the time. It can happen. But in that moment, in front of those people, to do it that way while he's running for president and while he's had a few of those before, he could be dealing with anxiety too. There's probably a lot of shit going on, but I would be concerned. Yeah,
I mean, listen, so I don't have any, my view is just based on actual professionals that I've talked to and people that have been in a room with him, because I'm not a professional and I've not been in the room with Biden. So Andrew Yang was on with Sam Harris recently. I don't know if you saw it. And this topic came up. And Andrew Yang basically said, listen, he's 78 years old. If you compare a video of Biden debating Paul Ryan in 2012 to Biden a month ago, obviously it's different. And to some degree, that's normal when someone's 78 years old.
Yeah.
But Andrew Yang's perspective was that he didn't see anything that he would call dementia or cognitive decline beyond that. So that's it's just one data point. It doesn't tell us anything definitively, The other thing is I've interviewed a few people, and I think you and I maybe have even messaged about some of them, neurologists and mental health professionals who are very concerned about Trump, like the oranges of an investigation, where he seems to sort of lock up when his shoulders sort of, this thing that he does where his shoulders kind of lock up in a weird way.
I haven't seen that.
There's a few of those, yeah. I got video of that. He
so
walks
that could
off
just
of
be
his
an injury.
plane.
You think it's a neurological thing?
I don't know. That's the thing. So it could be neurological, mental health, side effect of medication. There's a whole bunch of stuff it could be.
Could it also be an injury?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, if he's doing something with his back or his shoulder.
Well, it's weird because when it happens, he has a verbal mistake that he makes, and it coincides with this shoulder thing. And then it's almost like there's a half-second gap, and then someone hits the reset button, and he'll get back on the teleprompter or whatever. It's weird. There's like 10 or so examples.
I need to see this. I need to see this while I'm talking to you. So Jamie's going to search for one. So what would he search for?
I think if you went to like search.twitter.com and just searched in videos the way you can do, and you put like Trump brain glitch, I'm guessing that some of these would come up. But the gist of what I was getting to was some of these same neurologists and mental health folks, when I asked them privately about Biden and say, are you seeing like the same type of thing? They all say no. So again, it's like, they're not
Democrats.
My view.
They're hardcore Democrats.
So. I don't know if that's...
Wait, come on, man. He's had these moments where for sure something doesn't look good, right?
I agree. Totally agree.
So why would they say any differently? They've got to be Democrats. They got to be hardcore party loyalists.
I think that to assume that absent any evidence is maybe unfair.
Yeah, it is. But I'm an unfair guy in some respects.
But here's my thought on this right now. So like let's imagine that Biden's having a problem, right?
Okay.
Let's imagine it's absolutely for real. I'm still voting for him over Trump, right? I mean, like, so I think last time we talked, you mentioned you were pro-choice. Do I remember that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
I am, but I feel like it's a controversial subject for a reason.
Fair.
Yeah.
If Donald Trump gets to pick the next Supreme Court justice, it will be someone who would love to overturn Roe v. Wade. I mean, there's not even a chance. He said it, right?
This is what Trump has said, that he is pro-life and that he would pick someone that would, or it was just by virtue of picking conservative.
There's two parts to it. One is Donald Trump was pro-choice almost his entire life. He became pro-life when he was, I think, 68 because he met a kid he liked. And he imagined if that kid wasn't born. No, I'm serious.
I believe you. It's just hilarious.
It's crazy.
It's like an ABC after-school special.
Let's imagine that that's true, that he had an awakening at age 68 after being pro-life his whole life. Yeah. He said he would pick justices that were recommended to him by, I forget which conservative group. You're only going to get, so-called pro-life justices from these groups. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, Joe Biden will absolutely pick a pro-choice justice. So if I was pro-choice like you are, how do I justify voting for the guy who's going to replace potentially Ruth Bader Ginsburg with someone who would want Roe v. Wade overturned? Like, I couldn't do it in good conscience.
That's a good point. Well, I'm going to get into it in a second, but Jamie just pulled up this video of Trump, and I'm going to get to watch him have this weird twitch for the first time. Go ahead, hit me with it, Jamie. Okay, so he's talking. I'm watching it. Is that it? That little move that he made? One of them, I guess. Oh, this is hilariously silly. Trump neurologically malfunctions with a full spasm. No, he's talking and he just went like this. People do that. That's silly. Maybe it's that video is silly.
There's a dozen of. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't hear that.
I think a better thing is something that you showed me on your show. A better example, when there was real problems with him enunciating words. And, there was speculation like, was he falling? Was he sick? Was he on a sedative? Was something going wrong? It almost seemed like his tongue wasn't working correctly. Right?
Yeah.
Like he was wrestling with a paralyzed tongue. Like
your perspective matches mine, but I think for me, it's like this stuff, we're not probably ever going to really get an answer to this. And I don't know that it's imperative to know the answers for me to know who it is I'm going to vote for, I guess is the point I'm trying to make.